Welcome to the English Hour. This is the place where we tell interesting stories to help you learn English. Today's episode is a mystery story called The Lost Letter. This is a simple story with clear English, so listen carefully, enjoy the adventure, and improve your English skills at the same time. Now, get comfortable, and let's begin. The Lost Letter, Part 1, The Old Bookstore. It was a cold and rainy afternoon. James Dawson, a history teacher, walked through the streets of London. He loved books, especially old ones. Every weekend, he visited different bookstores, looking for something special. On this rainy day, James saw a small bookstore at the corner of a quiet street. The sign above the door said Whitmore's Rare Books. James had never been here before. He decided to go inside. As he opened the door, a small bell rang. The shop was warm and smelled like old paper and leather. The bookshelves were tall and full of books in every color. There was an old man behind the counter, reading a newspaper. Part 2, The Search Begins. James took the letter to the counter. "Excuse me, sir. I found this letter inside one of your books. Do you know anything about it?" The old man took the letter and read it. His eyes widened. "Where did you find this?" "It was inside this book," James said, showing him the blue book. The old man sighed. "This book belonged to my grandmother, Eleanor Whitmore. She passed away many years ago." James's heart raced. Was this the same Eleanor from the letter? "Do you know someone named Arthur?" James asked. The old man thought for a moment. "Yes. My grandmother often talked about a man named Arthur. She said he was very special to her, but she never told me what happened between them." James felt a deep curiosity. He wanted to know the truth. "Would it be all right if I asked you more about Eleanor and Arthur?" James asked politely. The old man nodded. "Come with me. I have something to show you." Part 3, The Forgotten Love Story. Mr. Whitmore led James to the back of the shop. There was a small room with an old wooden desk, a fireplace, and many old photographs on the wall. Mr. Whitmore opened a large wooden box and took out a black-and-white photo. "This is my grandmother Eleanor," he said, pointing to a young woman in the photo. She had soft curls and kind eyes. Next to her stood a tall man with a strong jawline. "And this is Arthur." James felt a chill. He was looking at the real people from the letter. "What happened to them?" James asked. Mr. Whitmore sat down. "Arthur was a soldier. He went to war. Eleanor waited for him, but he never came back. She was heartbroken." James looked at the letter again. "But he wrote this. He wanted to meet her. Maybe something happened before they could see each other." Mr. Whitmore nodded. Maybe the letter was lost. Maybe she never knew he wanted to see her. They sat in silence for a moment. Then, James had an idea. Part 4, The Truth is Found. James decided to search for Arthur's story. He visited the London War Museum and searched old military records. After hours of looking, he found a name: Arthur Benson, a soldier in the British Army during World War I. James read the records carefully. Arthur was injured in battle and taken to a hospital in another country. He survived the war but never returned to London. He thought Eleanor had forgotten him. James felt a deep sadness. They loved each other, but fate separated them. He returned to the bookstore and told Mr. Whitmore what he found. Mr. Whitmore listened carefully. Then, he smiled softly. "So, Arthur didn't forget her? He tried to see her?" James nodded. "Yes, maybe. If she had received the letter, their story would have been different." Mr. Whitmore took a deep breath. "Thank you, James. You helped bring my grandmother's story back to life." James smiled. He couldn't change the past, but he felt happy knowing he had honored a love that was never forgotten. Thank you for listening to the English Hour. We hope you enjoyed this story. What do you think? What would have happened if Eleanor had received the letter? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to follow for more great stories. See you next time. Goodbye.